Hey, Shalom, Call Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Hakodash, the ones of apostles of great millstone that rule well, and Shalom to in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully, and continually fighting the good fight of faith. Lord willing, we're found in that number to be delivered. And likewise for some of you sisters who truly trust and believe in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, may you be found worthy as well. All right. So I just want to, reiterate that when we was at the before camp edification, when this Levite came up and we was going back and forth with him, he had made mention of all the fathers passing under the cloud, all right, which led back to the mixed multitude that was amongst Israel, which were of the other nations, all right, and he was correct on that, because I had made a statement that it was all Israel, and which was wrong. And I understood it. I heard it and I understood it, but it wasn't until after the fact, he was correct on that. But be that as it may, let me just get a couple scriptures. This is Exodus 12, I'll start at 37. It says, "And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men besides children, and a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle." All right. So that mixed multitude was the other nations of people that journeyed along with us. All right. And he was correct on that. But my mindset was was thinking about the book of Revelation, that multitude, because as we stated, his first question was salvation to the nation of Israel only. All right. So here's what he roughly quoted. 1 Corinthians 10:1. It says, "Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea." You see? And during that time period was when we was fleeing out of Egypt. All right. So I just wanted to make mention that the Levite was absolutely right on that. And I understood it and I knew it and I've read it and I've knew it, but it's just that my mind went directly to the book of Revelation. All right. So, Lord willing, brothers, I didn't confuse brothers on that. I was kind of just a slip of the mind. All right. This is we are here. Exodus 13. And we want to get out of here. It's verse 21. I said it was. Yeah. Verse 20. And it says, "And they took their journey from Succoth and camped in Ithim in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud." So when it was mentioned that our fathers passed under the cloud, this is the cloud that's referring to, which was actually a chariot. Okay. "And led them the way by night in a pillar of fire, and gave them light to go by day and night." All right. So, and once again, I just want to clarify that. I made mention of it briefly in the video I made the other night, but I just wanted to go a little deeper on it. And so with that, I want to segue into this next lesson. All right. This was an alley-oop that was sent to me by one of the apostles here. And it says, the BBC News, dated April 11, 2022, it says, "The microchip implants that let you pay with your hand." Now, it's all coming full circle, man. It's all coming full circle, and it's going to be, as we understand it, it's going to be a segue. It's going to segue, like volunteer. You're going to be able to do it voluntarily. If you want to opt out, you don't have to do it. But understanding what the prophecies say is very important. All right, so let me read a little bit of this. It says, "A woman paying for her meal in a cafe using the contactless payment chip implant in her hand." And they're gonna make this to be a big, big hoopla, man. And people are gonna eat this shit up. They're gonna eat it up, hook, line, and sinker. They want to be the first ones in their neighborhood, the first ones in the block, in the business. All right. Patrick Punham causes a stir whenever he pays for something in a shop or restaurant. This is because the 37-year-old doesn't need to use a bank card or his mobile phone to pay. Instead, he simply places his left hand near the contactless card reader and the payment goes through. All right. Now, of course, Esau is always going to try to go against what the scriptures say. The scripture says in his right hand, but Esau, being the devil that he is, he's going to put in his left hand. Now, I want to be careful because they might give me a strike for going through this like this, but it's news. It's average news, So they really can't, say anything that we causing a ruckus or a stir. It's out there. This shit is out in the world. It's going down. It's being implemented. It's coming through. Okay. Quote, the reaction I get from cashiers are priceless, says Mr. Punham, a security guard from the Netherlands. He is able to pay using his hand because in 2019 he had a contactless payment microchip injected in his skin. Quote, the procedure hurts as much as when someone pinches your skin, Mr. Punham, says Punham. All right. A microchip was first implanted into a human back in 1998, but it's only during the past decade that the technology has been available commercially. All right, and it's going to speed up. It's going to be available globally. All right, and when it comes to the implantable payment chip, British Polish firm Waltermore says that last year it became the first company to offer them for sale. Okay, and there's a whole dynamic of what's happening, man. Especially with the car industry, the electronical industry, the artificial intelligence. There's all types of shit going down, man, right under you people's noses. And they're blinding you with all this hoopla and all this, smoke and mirrors on TV. All right. It says, quote, the implant can be used to pay for a drink on the beach in Rio, a coffee in New York, a haircut in Paris, or at your local grocery store, says founder and chief executive Wotech Proprietor. It can be used, quote, it can be used wherever contactless payment are accepted. Now keep in mind, man, what's the scripture say? Now let's get it. Let's just get it. This is Revelation 13. I'm going to jump down to 16. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. All right. So they're basically telling you right now, as it states, the implant can be used to pay for a drink in Rio, on the beach in Rio, a coffee in New York, a haircut in Paris. So what they're telling you is this thing is going to be globally, man. There's going to be no way around what they're about to put in place, man. And what are they doing? They're slowly, giving you the agenda. They're slowly giving you the outlook of what's to come. All right. And for all you groups and you men out there who persist and profess that, it's everything but the RFI, the MOTB. It's everything but. And I just can't figure out why a lot of you people have a problem with accepting it. Is it because the men of Great Millstone has pushed it and is continually pushing it? Is it that you don't want to say, humble yourselves and say, they're right. They're right. And it's not that, we boast ourselves, but the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is working through the men of Great Millstone from the head apostles on down, man. And at the end of the day, once again, you don't even have to be in Great Millstone to receive it and understand it, man. There's a lot of people in the world who truly understand that this technology is what's spoken of in the book of Revelation, man. But our people, as the scriptures say, are so stiff-necked and hard-headed They're going to fight it tooth and nail just because, man. Just because. If Esau really got on the news and just really let it all out and explained it, you people would accept it hook, line, and sinker, wouldn't have no problem with it. Yeah, you see, Esau said it, yep. But when the prophets of the Lord say it and speak it, all of a sudden there's a problem. It has to be everything else. So much so to the point, you brothers know, you've been around, it was sleeping with white women. That was the mark of the beast. You know? It was the main one they were saying it was the philosophies of Esau or of Babylon. And if that is the case, we've all said it. If that is the case, then we're all doomed, man. Because at some point in time, we have used and we have been indoctrinated by the customs of this place, man. And it was through the spirit and the grace of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he plucked us up out of there. Now, if it was the doctrine of Esau, Edom, then why would the Lord just all of a sudden pluck us out and say, oh, you know what, you received the mark, but I'm going to pluck you out anyway. All right? So I'm not going to read too much more. You brothers know exactly what's going on here. Matter of fact, hold on a minute. Let me jump down a little bit. It says, Mr. Papator adds that it is entirely safe, has a regulatory approval, works immediately after being implanted, and will stay firmly in place. It also does not require a battery or other power sources. The firm says it has now sold more than 500 of the chips. The technology Walmart uses is Near Field Communications, NFC, the contactless payment system in smartphones. You see? And once again, this ain't nothing new. It's the same information or same technology that's in smartphones. Okay? But once they take it a step further, they're going to put it inside of you. And that's going to be the new going thing. That's going to be the new norm, so to say. All right? Other payment implants are based on radio frequency identification, RFID, which is similar technology typically found in physical contactless debit and credit cards. And there's the famous hand, one of the famous hands. Okay? It says an X-ray showing Waldemar implant, which are injected into a person's hand after a local anesthetic. For many of us, the idea of having such a chip implanted in our body is an appealing one. But in 2020, a survey of more than 4,000 people across the UK and the European Union found that 51% would consider it. Well, they're gonna have no choice, man. They're gonna have no choice. Just like when this whole thing went down back in 2020 with the now I want to be light when I use these words, with the pan, if you will. It was structured that you couldn't do anything, man, unless you presented your information. So it's trailing right along the road of how it's going to be played out, man. People are going to have no choice because the scripture says so. It says, however, without giving a percentage figure, the report added that invasiveness and security issues remain a major concern for respondents. Mr. Punham says he doesn't have any of these worries. The chip implant contains the same kind of technology that people use on a daily basis, he says, from key fobs to unlocked doors, public transit cards like the London Oyster card, or bank cards with contactless payment function. The reading distance is limited by the small antenna coil inside the implant. The implant needs to be within the electromagnetic field of the capable RFID or NFC reader. Only when there is a magnetic coupling between the reader and the transponder can the implant be read. He adds that he is not concerned that his whereabouts could be tracked. Okay, and there they go again. There they go again. They're not concerned your whereabouts can be tracked, which is going to be one of the key features of this thing when it gets rolled out. The scripture says he's going to heap to himself all people and all nations and all people, man. He wants to know where everybody is at all times, man. But this is the role they give you when you first, listen to what this devil. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's gonna be safe, secure. Your personal information. It's not a tracking device. Bullshit. Let you do something and somebody say, oh, he did it over there. Then, oh, he got a cell phone. We're gonna triangulate with the towers and figure out where this dude is. So you mean to tell me your cell phone can give these devils the capability to track where you are, but this implant is not going to be able to do that? Come on, man. Come on. It's happening, man. It's here. It's here. It's here. And a lot of you men in Israel, a lot of you Israelites are going to fall victim to this thing, man. You're going to fall victim to it because you chose not to believe. Okay? Even to the point where some of these group leaders was telling their congregation, get the chip. Get it. It's okay. You'll be all right. You'll be able to feed your kids and you'll be fine. Especially if they say it's going to go in the left hand. And that's all that is. That's just a stumbling block. That's a stumbling block to all you people out there who say, oh, you see, it's the left hand. The scripture says the right hand, so you good. That's a stumbling block, and you better be aware for any man out there who's telling you you can get it in your left hand or your butt cheek. All right? Be ready, man. Be on the ready. Time is short. Esau is moving with vigor. All right? He's putting shit in place. And you got to read between the lines as to what's happening in the world, man. You got to read what's happening in the world. Esau likes to use smoke and mirrors to blind the people, man. And he's the master at it. All right, so I'm going to end that with this. And Lord willing, I'll see you brothers in another show. Until then, I say shalom.